OK, we'll be back live to Berlin at 11 o'clock. Now, we've heard plenty from the England side ahead of tonight's game. Let's see what the Spanish perspective is. Look at this. Delighted to say we're joined by Matt Clark from La Liga Lowdown. Very good morning to you. Right.
Morning.
England hoping to end an almost 60-year wait for a major trophy. But how significant would it be for Spain if they were to take home the trophy tonight?
It hasn't been quite as long a wait for Spain. Of course, only 12 years since the Euro 2012 success. But they haven't actually won, until this tournament, they hadn't won a knockout game in 90 minutes since that final over Italy. So it's been a while coming, and the Spaniards were kind of thinking, when are we going to be back to that level? So there wasn't a lot of expectation before the tournament, but seeing how it's gone, they've kind of grown in confidence and belief that they can do this. 6 wins in a row, they believe they can win this.
Yeah, I mean, Spain have had their best tournament since winning the Euros in 2012. What do you think has been the key to what Luis de la Fuente is doing here? Because he wasn't a household name, was he? But he's very quietly and effectively gone about his job.
Yeah, there was a lot of debate when he took the job whether he'd be there for a while. Some thought he was just a bit of a placeholder until they found someone of a bigger name. Of course, a lot of the Spanish managers manage in clubs, particularly in the Premier League now. But in terms of the difference from the golden era, a lot of those players were from Barcelona, Real Madrid. This time, it's a lot different. There's only a few from Real Madrid and a couple from Barcelona in the squad. You've actually got a lot more Basque players in the squad now from Real Sociedad Athletic Club. So they're kind of, in terms of play style, it's still a very identifiably Spanish team. They still like to play the ball and move around. But there's a little bit more directness to their game with the wingers we're going to talk about in a moment. They have a lot more verticality compared to the other Spanish sides. I mean, the 22 Qatar World Cup, Luis Enrique's side, they had all the possession but no cutting edge. This side has a lot more cutting edge, and I think that's the main difference that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's been a kind of change in philosophy from them. You mentioned Lamine Yamal. I was reading this morning under German employment law, if it goes to extra time, it's illegal for him to play. There's a special dispensation to go beyond 10 o'clock local time if you're in sport, but beyond 11, which it would be, it's a €30,000 fine. I don't think they'll mind too much about paying that out. But is he the main, I was going to say main man, but he's only just turned 17. Is he the main player that England need to be worried about here?
Potentially, yeah. He turned 17 yesterday, and Nico Williams turned 22 on Friday. So both wingers are enjoying their weekend so far. I think there's quite a few Spanish players that could be match winners. Obviously, a lot of English fans will know about Rodri from the Premier League. I think Dani Olmo has really come through this tournament. He plays it in Leipzig. He won the German Super Cup last summer, 3-0 over Bayern against Kane, so a little bit of a precedent there potentially. But he started the tournament as a substitute, but since Pedri's injury, he's come on and been a lot more prominent, providing goals and assists. I think he's joined top scorer in the tournament with 3 goals. And also Fabian Ruiz in the midfield. He plays in Paris under Luis Enrique, incidentally. So he's been a real fantastic midfielder this tournament. Kind of unsuspecting Spanish fans, even the Spaniards, weren't really expecting him to be one of the major names of this tournament, but I think he's really shone through.
Yeah, because this sort of deployment you were touching on Yamal and Nico Williams and the way Spain have used them, it does break with the tradition of Spanish football that we have seen over the past sort of more than a decade now. Is that being embraced in Spain? We can win any way we like, or is there a few purists going, oh, come on?
It's a good question. I think they're just happy that they've been able to win these games. I mean, this run has been, they've had the harder side of the draw, and they beat Italy in the group stage, who are the defending champions. They beat Croatia 3-0, who were the 3rd in the world in Qatar. They've got over the curse of the host. They'd never beaten a host nation before, but they beat Germany, and then they beat France, who are pre-tournament favourites. So they've gone through the hard way, and I think the Spaniards have just grown into this tournament and are just delighted to see a young Spanish side really doing well and progressing. 5 of these players were part of the under-21 squad that won the 2019 under-21 Euros under Luis de la Fuente. So there's kind of been a real progression through, and a lot of those players are also in this squad too. So there's a lot of optimism in Spain. They're not taking it for granted, but they feel that they've got a good shot.
Yeah, De La Fuente and Gareth Southgate, there's sort of mirrors there, isn't there? We're running out of time. We've got about 40 seconds left. I mean, you cover Spanish football, but you're from England, so what have you got? The ultimate half and half scarf for this one? Who you be cheering on?
Not a fan of half and half scarves, but I am on the fence a little bit, quite torn. Yeah, obviously before the tournament, England were big favourites along with France and have underwhelmed to a large extent, but they found a way through. Obviously, the Jude Bellingham angle with Spanish football is a massive draw. I think anything can happen in this final, but I think may the best team win.